Alright everybody, today we're going to be discussing the tier list of Season, Tyranny, and For Honor. I'm going to be speaking from the PC perspective, but keep in mind, most of what I say will apply to the console experience. Keep in mind these are my opinions, and it's definitely okay to disagree and voice your own opinions down in the comment section below. So if you liked what you heard, consider rating and subscribing if you guys are new. So without further ado, let's just dive on in. Alright, you old polecats, let's try to get this over with and make it as quick as possible because the faster, the better, as what someone told me, I think. My mom, I don't know, who cares. Anyways, Warden, obviously S tier, best shoulder bash in the game. He can just dodge every single attack and just shoulder bash you to death. Now, the reason why he's so strong is because he has a dodge bash attack. It's best used defensively, and the best way to beat someone is to play defensively and turtle up. The more mistakes you make, and the more you attack, the more you lose, basically. And that's why For Honor is flawed to an extent, and it's really boring to watch high-level play, especially when it comes to duels. Warden can just dodge bash anything, and the most important thing is that he can feint that bash when he dodges it. It has variable timings, and so you're just gonna have to guess when he dodges your attacks. It's pretty sad, so that's why he's the best character. His lights are trash, his heavies are trash, his own attack is pretty good for option selects, but has good animation, so you can pretty much parry that off animations. That's why he's the best hero in the game. Now let's take a look at Conqueror. He's gonna be S tier because you know why? Because he can dodge bash, he can turtle well. He's got like I think 4 ways to negate mix-ups. He can dodge into your attacks and go for a superior block into a bash afterwards, which is insanely fun to do, to be honest. He's really fun to play. And he's got a full block to negate certain mix-ups when he dodges forward. Just press it randomly with an insanely good recovery time, just negating every single mix-up when it comes to like light and heavy attacks and soft feints. Really strong, really annoying hero to fight. He used to have save heavies, doesn't have that anymore, but his heavies do have superior block at certain times as well. And so that's really a strong point about Conqueror. He can also charge his heavies up for a parry attempt, and if they let their heavies fly, he can just keep charging his heavy because it will just block the attack anyway. So he's got a lot of defensive utilities. The more defense a hero has, the stronger he is. Dodging bash, many variable timings on his, actually it's like 2 variable timings for his bashes, but still one of the best bashes and fastest bashes in the game. Now we'll take a look at Black Prior. I think he's going to be S tier, SA+. He's going to be A+ tier because he doesn't have a dodge bash. He's got good offense, good unblockables, good undodgeables, and a good mix-up with light into bash or light into GB or undodgeable. Very strong hero. He got good recoveries on pretty much every single attack. Cancel that to bulwark, whatever it may be. Like I said, the only reason he's not S tier is because he can't dodge bash and turtle better than these 2 heroes. Let's take a look at Gladiator. Gladiator, I feel like, I'm pretty sure he's a B+ tier, and a lot of people are going to be confused by this, but on PC, he is strong because he has a good, unpunishable option select. He's got delayed light attacks, which are pretty good, and he's got a good way to punish bash spammers like these guys up here. He has 20 damage light attacks. That's insane. That's the highest dodge attack in the game, a light dodge attack. That's very, very good compared to Kensei's, also very good as well, but good option select, good OS punishes and punishes in general. If you get parried by Gladiator, you're gonna be under half stamina every single time, or gonna be over stamina, because the smart Gladiator is always gonna use a zone attack afterwards to negate so much of your stamina, and you're gonna have no offense afterwards. You're gonna have to turtle up, and you're gonna have to dodge his toe stabs, and you're gonna have to dodge his zone attack, which is 600 ms, still fairly fast. So enjoy fighting this guy at a high level. Lawbringer, I definitely think Lawbringer is gonna be S tier right here. You wanna know why? You wanna know why? Because I said it once, and I'll say it again. Because he can dodge bash you. Pretty much negate every single mix-up in the game, and cause pain and suffering to all of these guys right here. And the reason I put him above Black Prior is because he can turtle better, and he has access to 400 ms top lights, and that in itself is going to just destroy every single hero. You know, it's gonna ruin mix-ups, it's going to interrupt every single bash if you time it correctly. It's 400 ms, so you're gonna have to make a good read on parrying that every single time if you want to throw it, because it's a light attack and it's insanely fast. So it's good for interrupting people. He has dodge bash, enhanced lights, which are very, very strong because you can do chip damage and go into your mix-up. Then again, he can't really do anything after the heavy attacks because it's very reactable, but I digress. Dodge bash, parrying, best turtle capabilities, good punishes. If there's a wall, you're going to guarantee at least over 30, over 40 damage, because the stun is gonna increase your chances of getting hit by whatever attack he throws next. So that's why he's the best, and that's why he got nerfed. Peacekeeper. Now, I think Peacekeeper is definitely, I think she's gonna be B tier. Now, she's not, I don't think she's better than Glad. Well, actually, she's B plus tier, because she's got a good option select for an MS. You're not gonna be parrying that every single time. You're not gonna be able to unless you have 100 MS reaction timing. And she's got a good dodge attack to punish bashes. She can pretty much punish almost every single hero with a zone attack. Good delayed light attacks, very, very fast. I think her top one is 466. Incredibly fast hero and very annoying to fight against when played optimally and when played the right way. So good on her. Thank you for light spam. Console players, rejoice. So now we're on to Centurion here. Where are we going to put him? I think we're going to put him B+. I know that's surprising for a lot of people, but on PC at a high level, or like I would say even average and above skill level, he's going to be B+ tier, even though he has access to his 50-50 mix-ups like Hitokiri. The thing is that he's not going to be better than Glad in the matchup, because Glad has access to neutral zone attacks, neutral toe stabs to negate a lot of mix-ups from Centurion. Centurion has his kick, which is, it's 500 MS, so it's mostly reactable to an extent. He can delay it for more potential mix-ups, but Gladiator, he can dodge bash, he can dodge a light attack and punish you better. He can turtle better than Centurion, and that's why Centurion is a little bit weaker than Gladiator when it comes to high-level play. He's stronger in the casual matchup where everyone's throwing attacks, but 50-50 is really good. Heavy attacks, variable timing is really good. Charged bashes, chain pressure is insane. OS pressure is really good as well. He has unblockables, you can feint them now. Makes him a really strong and formidable character, more diverse than Gladiator. However, Gladiator is stronger in the matchup overall because he can take more stamina away from you than Centurion, which is hilarious. So thank you, Misa, for making a character that makes sense. Stamina pressure. Anyways, alright, so Raider. Let's go here. Raider, they nerfed my boy so bad. I'm gonna put him in C+ tier. I'm putting him in C+ because he's able to punish bash heroes and punish certain heroes by dodging. And so, like I said before, all the way in the beginning, if you can punish heroes by turtling or by dodging and doing a certain attack, then he's strong. And the reason why they nerfed dodge guard break is because he could punish all of these heroes up here with dodge GB. And so he's strong, but he's not strong anymore because they nerfed his stunning type. No chain pressure, he only has his zone attack and he has to get into that, so it makes him really weak. Hyper armor, which is nice on his chained heavies, but overall he's weaker than these heroes because these heroes can interrupt him very easily and they have openers that are viable and more consistent with him. So Raider, very weak spot right now. Warlord, man, this guy's been getting tons of buffs. I think I'm going to put him in the B+ territory because he's got enhanced lights, which are insanely good. He could just go into his heavy mix-up into hyper armor and just trade with you, or go for a top light, which is much faster now. It's 500 MS and 18 damage. Insanely fast headbutt compared to these guys down here, these losers over here. Look at Shinobi's freaking bash. Pathetic. Anyways, Warlord, like I said, good zone attack, good option select, enhanced light attacks, very good bash, good 50-50, and most importantly, he's got a good full block as well. Now this full block can be used on reads and reactions, so it makes him a very deadly hero to try to interrupt. You can just full block randomly and you are going to have to try to GB him or try to interrupt him and make reads on there. So he's a really strong hero now and a lot of people underestimate him, so watch out for this guy. Highlander, this guy right here, I think I'm going to put him B+ tier. A lot of people say he's a weak hero because he doesn't have any openers, because any hero with a dodge attack is going to get him, but a good Highlander knows how to utilize him and play him defensively and offensively at the right time. If you watch Spider-Goat, definitely knows how to bait people out and utilize hyper armor trades and the light attacks. He's got 400 MS light attacks. If you guys didn't know that, his offensive stance is 400 MS lights, and they can be very hard to parry and just react to in general. So he's a good hero to bait out certain attacks. You're not going to be able to use kick to caber against pretty much any hero with a fast dodge attack. So you're going to have to rely on offensive light attacks and baiting people out with the unblockables. His OOS pressure is insane. It's 40 damage for every single punish, and his wall throw is 45 damage every single time. So that's why I rate him up here. The better punishes you have, the higher up the tier list you will go. Take a look at Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie is definitely going to be a C+ tier. A lot of people underestimate her as well. She's got good deflex, but you have to get that, which is a little bit tough. she has access to a bash, so heavy into bash mix-up is actually better than most of what these the lower tiers have. So she's good. She's got a backwards full block, which is situational, but it's actually pretty solid when it comes to certain mix-ups and negating certain attacks and making good reads. So I put up in C+. I think she definitely needs some more tweaks. Moving on to Berserker. Berserker, I think I'm going to put him in B+ territory. He's still an overall good hero with good spammable feints, I would say. Spammable light attacks. Decent option select, I would say. Decent, I wouldn't say the greatest. Probably not the worst compared to like Shugoki's option select, but nevertheless, very good hero overall, good unblockables, good chain pressure, and good hyper armor as well. So he's definitely not the best hero anymore, since everyone's just crept up here, gotten a bunch of buffs, but he's still a very strong, formidable hero. Shaman, I would say Shaman, I would definitely say she's B+. I think I'm going to move her right over here. She's a lot stronger than most people give her, even though it takes her a lot of stamina to use her mix-ups and go into her flicker tech and all that random stuff. She's got fast dodge attacks, insanely fast dodge attacks, and she's able to utilize her bite, which is insanely high punish. You're gonna have to make a prediction and a read to dodge that, so have fun with that. High damage punishes, access to unblockables, and a lot of utility with this hero. Now this girl, a lot of people underestimate her. Very strong hero, very strong hero. Jormungandr, this guy, he got nerfed to the high heavens, but I'm still going to put him up in B territory because he's a stamina bully, and his punishes are really good. If people are going to go out of stamina with this guy, he's going to be a nasty hero to fight against. B+ hero. I think he's very strong if utilized correctly, because his forward dodge is really, really annoying. Good hyper armor. Actually, they nerfed the hyper armor, but still, it'll negate like garbage mix-ups. And overall, a very strong and tedious hero. This guy needs to be reworked completely. Kensei, creative, where are you, my dudes? I think we all miss you. Kensei, I think I'm gonna put him on C+ tier, just because he has a little bit more utility than some of the heroes in C+ territory. They did give him a rework, however, they made him very slow when it comes to openers, and I don't know why, but they didn't speed up his top heavy into a pommel strike. It's very, very slow. It's very situational too. It's only good if the person is OOS. So essentially, he's a hero with good utility, but just too slow of a mix-up to do any real danger or pressure to the higher tier heroes. Now we're moving on to Orochi, everybody's favorite light spammer. Now, on PC, his lights are fairly reactable, so I'm gonna put him on C tier. You know, I think in console he's a little bit stronger, but the best players will still be able to make better reads to parry him. He doesn't have any openers. His Storm Rush is unreactable on one side, but you can just block that and react to any indicator afterwards. His light spam it's pretty good to an extent. He has fast top lights now and a faster zone, which is 466 ms. Overall, he's a good hero with a good option select. You have to play him very, very methodically, but he doesn't have any openers, and he doesn't have any ways to deal consistent damage against the other heroes up here, and so that's why I'm putting on C tier. He can be played well, he's got good heavy damages and good deflex, however, he's very mediocre compared to the top heroes. And now we move on to the Queen of For Honor. Is she the queen? Let me know your thoughts down below. But Nobushi, you cannot play this hero aggressively, at least on a high level on PC. I think even average level, her kick is very, very slow. It's very reactable because it comes out after a light attack or a heavy attack. Very easy animation to see when she just flips her body horizontally, does like butterfly flip. That just means you dodge. And very, very slow light attacks. My goodness, they're 500 ms still. And all you have to do is block, and the most important thing is if you can block a hero's attack, that means they have no viability in offense, and it makes them way, way lower into the tier list. Pretty much, if you can block their attacks and they don't have like a real way to increase pressure or make you react, they're pretty much going to be C tier. So that's why Nobushi needs a rework, she needs tweaks, she needs help basically, and she's only really good in 4s, so duels, worthless, only if you can parry, make good reads, and spice it up and be smooth with your opponent. Now Shugoki, the thick boy, you know, I think I'm gonna put the Shugoki on C+ tier. You wanna know why? Because he can interrupt people with his hyper armor lights. Why is that a thing, Ubisoft? First of all, they took away his hyper armor neutral. You had to guard break him first or hit him, and that was unhealthy for the game. But then they decided to give him the fastest hyper armor startup attack in the freaking game. Why did you do that? not only is that a good way to deal with your opponent and interrupt them and just mess up their timings and mix-ups, it just allows you to get to your mix-up afterwards, so it negates mix-ups, and it starts your chain mix. And granted, his chain mix-up can just be dodge rolled, but not everybody wants to dodge roll. Not optimal play, I understand, he's probably super weak. The only thing he's got going from his wall punishes to get his HP black with his hug attack. Very useful in a lot of situations. Good heavy punishes on GBs and can ledge and wall splat. Not wall splat, but him near the wall, and he can get a light attack into his zone attack afterwards. And really, I feel like I would put him above these 3 heroes because he's got a good 50-50 when it comes to OS pressure. When you're out of stamina against Shugoki, it is going to be a very tough time if you have to react to his unblockable hug mix-up or just unblockable in general. Raiders is pretty scary too, but overall, he's only got like 1 mix-up, and that's going to be the GB. Shugoki's got a lot going for him. He's a big guy. He's a very big guy. Alright, we're going to the Shinobi expert. Now, alright, Shinobi, he's a tricky hero because the thing is, Shinobi and Highlander require an insane amount of skill or a certain amount of game knowledge to play them well, and a lot of people think he's going to be D tier, but in all honesty, my dudes, in all honesty, everybody, Shinobi, he's going to be B tier. He's going to be B tier for sure. You wanna know why? Because a good Shinobi will space your opponent out. He'll be the most annoying person to fight. He has a dodge attack, keep that in mind. Dodge attack like all these high level players. The only difference is that his is a lot slower and require a lot more movement and game knowledge because it's slow, but you can still bait out certain attacks and punish people with whiff tech and just being a super annoying playstyle. Good option select and good parries as well because he has the safe parries. It's not safe anymore, but he can charge his heavies and go for parries and all that good stuff. So good, annoying hero that definitely needs a rework because I know he's very weak when you try to play him aggressively. He's a good hero when played defensively, and that is the key problem with For Honor. All the defensive heroes are going to be strong and annoying to fight. All the offensive heroes that have some sort of offense that want to throw attacks, they're very weak because you can just get parried or, most importantly, just get blocked. Shinobi needs a rework, annoying hero to fight, but he's still stronger than a lot of the cast and a lot of people. He's still stronger than a lot of people think he is, basically. Now, moving on to Hitokiri. I'm going to put her in B+ territory. I think I'm debating if she's stronger than Berserker or not, but actually I think she's going to be weaker. Nope, she's going to be stronger than Berserker because he doesn't have a 50-50 mix-up. Even though they took away her hyper armor on her heavies, she still has the 50-50 mix-up, and you'll have to parry those variable timed heavies. A lot of high-level players will be able to consistently parry it, probably. It really depends on the mix-up and the mind games in that certain situation, but she has the 50-50 mix-up, insanely good, just like Centurion's, but Centurion's a little bit better because he has a neutral bash compared to Hitokiri, where she only has a chain pressure. OS is very strong, good zone option select as well, and very good hyper armor chain light attacks, and also unblockable as well and chained heavy. And we move on to my main, Aramusha. Aramusha, I think it's self-explanatory. I've never lost any games with this hero. He's the best hero of the game. I hate this play this stupid hero. Now, you think he's D tier, but in actuality, he's actually a pretty strong hero when played defensively, like I said before. I honestly might put him on B tier just because of his parry punishes 40 damage. Because he doesn't have safe heavies anymore, I think I'm going to push him down to C+ territory. He's got better punishes than Shugoki. He has no chain pressure though, so I'm going to put him down a little bit lower than Shugoki since he has unblockables. And he might actually be weaker than Raider, but the thing that Aramusha has up his utility is that he's got a full block, and that in itself is going to make him have an edge against light spammers. Then again, all these guys up here aren't light spammers, and so it's really useless against a lot of the other heroes. But this hero against specific heroes, he does have really good matchups, but he also has a lot of bad matchups as well. No unblockables besides his zone attack, but you have to get into that in the first place, and it's best to just take that in the face if you're OOS, because you don't want to take his huge, insanely 85 damage punishes. Punishes are the only thing going for this guy. Fast feints aren't that really useful because you can just block them on PC. Any good player will parry deadly feints, boom, consistently. I would say 80% of the time I can parry this dude's deadly feint. I would say maybe 80% of the time. Very easy to parry because it only comes from 2 different directions, and you can just block the heavy attack that comes through. I know on console, He's actually a little bit stronger than PC, but I digress. We are talking about PC, and it will translate over. I'm sure on console he's gonna be like a B tier or B plus tier or something like that because everything's much faster. But Aramusha C plus in my in my ideal in my world right now. Very hard to use, just like all these other heroes. He can't punish bashes and he can't punish certain mix-ups, so he just has to make reads just like all the other heroes. Moving on to Jiang Jun. Now this guy, he's got a lot of utility and he's very good in 4s. However, his 1v1 potential is not that great. You know, I'm going to put him in C plus territory. He's better than a lot of these heroes. His delayed lights are very slow compared to all the other delayed lights in this game. Very reactable because if you see an indicator that's not unblockable after a heavy attack or a light attack, it's going to be a light attack. So you parry it and get your heavy parry punished. He does have an opener, much better than Kensei in my opinion, because you can just go forward and feint it, except it's the same kind of concept, so you can interrupt him. However, he has a lot of mix-up compared to other people. He can negate a lot of mix-ups just by dodging. A lot of the Wulin will just be able to dodge your mix-ups and just make you cry all over the place because Wulin, am I right? Jiang Jun also has some pretty nice damage punishes as well. Good zone attack. Guaranteed also after every heavy parry, so that makes him very strong. Light attacks are also 18 damage, I believe, and he has access to Sifu stance, which is insane when used in the right capacity. So overall, very strong hero, but still weaker compared to every single other hero up in this tier list right here. Moving on to Tiandi. Now Tiandi, I believe he is a little bit stronger than Jiang Jun. He's actually one of the stronger heroes of the Wulin, and I think I'm going to put him above Hitokiri, because he does have access to neutral bash. He doesn't have 50-50s compared to her, but he can use this to interrupt a lot of mix-ups that a lot of heroes have. And the most important thing of all, he has delayed lights, undodgeable lights, and he has a good option select. And the last thing is that he has dodge attacks that can chain forever and pretty much negate a lot of 50-50 mix-ups when done from neutral or done from read. So it's very, very strong in the right hands. He's an annoying hero to fight. I can totally understand why people call him the ballerina. And the next Wulin we have is Shaolin. Now this hero, he does have a 400 MS neutral top light, which is pretty good for interrupting heroes. Unfortunately, he has a reflex guard, and his 50-50 mix-up is honestly pretty good, but the only question that you have to ask yourself is, how am I going to get into that mix-up? You know, ask yourself that question. And I feel like he's still going to be better than a lot of the heroes like Orochi and Nobushi because he has a 50-50 mix-up. However, it's very hard for him to get into that, and if he whiffs lights or does like whiff tech, all you have to do is back up because he won't be able to do anything to you. The only thing he's going to be good for is interrupting attacks. He's a good hero when used correctly. However, he's still very weak compared to a lot of the other cast because he doesn't have an opener. Now we're moving on to Nuxia. Now this hero right here, she is a god light spammer, and a lot of people probably can't handle her traps. Even myself, I have troubles handling her because I don't fight against her consistently. But she does have one of the fastest chain delayed light attacks. I think they're like 300 MS or something like that. Ooh, I burped. Sorry about that. And very, very strong when used correctly because you're gonna have to make some insane reads and react to those. So. But unfortunately, she has very weak deflex. You can just block those. Her traps are very niche and I would say a little bit inconsistent because a lot of people can just throw heavies super early when they're OS and they'll just slap her in the face. So it's hilarious. She's a good hero when used correctly. Very, very scary when someone knows how to utilize her traps. But people with great reactions are just going to light attack her anyways on those trap timings, and she's not going to stand a chance. So she needs a rework of some kind, fix the trap mechanics, or just get rid of them altogether and give her unblockables or something like that. But let me know what you guys think, what we can do to fix Nuxia, because she is a troublesome hero. She's a good hero, she's a strong hero with good damage values, but there's just something that doesn't fit in the For Honor universe with her. At least that's just my opinion. And the last hero, we have Zhanhu. This hero is absolute dog. Is Zhanhu. Now, where does this guy go? The newest hero with unblockable light attacks. Insane attack, right? Wrong. He's terrible. You wanna know why? Because even console players have told me that it's easy to parry. This hero, He's really only good for being defensive, unfortunately. He's a really good looking hero, but his dodge attacks are 400 MS, which is pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good for punishing a lot of the heroes, and heroes in general. Unfortunately, he has no iframes when he does those attacks, which is insanely pathetic, and so he can get interrupted very easily. His risk versus reward on his unblockable light attacks versus unblockable heavies, it's just not worth it, you know? A lot of people can parry those 600 MS unblockable lights, therefore, just eating a 40 damage freaking heavy to the face after risking your quote-unquote mix-up is just not worth it, and so that makes him a very low-tier hero when it comes to viable offense. Yes, he's got, I would say, okay OS pressure since he does have unblockables, however, even his 400 MS forward dodge light will not save him, because if you can block top, if you can keep your guard top, which is honestly a feat to behold, then you're not going to have a hard time against this hero, because he has to get some damage in by being defensive, and that's very boring. However, if you do parry his light attacks, too much damage, too much risk for this hero, so that's why I'm going to put him in C tier. Alright, so there it is. What did you guys think of the tier list? I think I got mostly everything down and dirty, so let me know your thoughts down below. And also be sure to check out the Twitch streams in Twitch down in the description below. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good night. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.